vama, profesoru Đuričinu. Hvala lepo. A sada imamo jedno posebno zadovoljstvo. Dakle, kao što ste mogli čuti na samom početku, ovogodišnji partner foruma je kompanija Mastercard i kao organizatori posebno je čast da imamo Mastercard za partnera. To svrstava na izvestan način Koponik Business Forum i u rang vrhunskih sportskih takmičenja gde se takođe javlja Mastercard. Šalu na stranu, partnerstvo sa Mastercardom i ove i naredne 2 godine obezbeđuje dobru osnovu za realizaciju cilja da Koponik Business Forum bude događaj od prvorazrednog regionalnog značaja. Stoga molim gospodina Artura Turemku, predsjednika Mastercarda za Balkan, da kratko uzme reč. Izvolite.
Before I get started, one remark from my side on behalf of the President of Central Eastern Europe and Mastercard, George Simon, who's supposed to be here today together with me. I would like to apologize. I will be talking on behalf of him as well, as due to unexpected health reason in the last moment he couldn't come. Dear Governor, dear Ministers, distinguished guests, Your Excellencies, clients and partners, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to express my sincere thanks to the organizers, and I would like to thank you very much for the trust, for the partnership. I really thank you for this opportunity, being here and partnering with Koponik Business Forum. It's real priceless opportunity for us as a company. Thank you very much for all the speeches that I heard so far and all these deep insights about the Serbian economy and the conditions shaping local market. I'm extremely happy to hear the last speech of Mr. Professor Đuričin outlining the need of disruptive innovations that are super important to shape the market and shape the economy, because I'm coming from the technology company. Actually, in my short keynote speech, I want to outline the beauty of what we at Mastercard are doing. I don't want to sell the company itself. I want to stress out a couple of elements that are in part of our domain and are some insight giving for policymaking for you distinguished audience. So we are actually a technology company with long history of innovation, and we continue to bring to life safer, richer, more compelling shopping and payment experience for consumers around the globe. Very important fact is that we provide governments with the solutions to help to reduce the costs, gain efficiencies, and act against the fraud and shadow economy. We're also developing new ways to facilitate electronic payments and serve more consumers around the world, extending opportunities for financial inclusion and empowering social change. And last but not least, also a very important factor of what we do with governments, we help cities become more efficient, sustainable, and more inclusive. Ladies and gentlemen, what we have here and now in this room, and what we have and we treat as something which is granted, it's not granted for the entire population. A few facts also about technological changes in current worlds. Point number one is internet. 10 years ago, only 1 billion people around the globe had access to internet. Today, it's almost half of population who have access to internet. Another element, access to financial services. Can you imagine that half of the world today have never had access to secure bank account to store the money? Another factor, from our payments industry domain, cash dominates. 85% of today's world retail transactions are being done in cash or checks, so popular in Serbia as well. And for more than 50 years, we're using our expertise to creating technologies that improve all these payments processes. That's our aim, to really enhance consumer experience, help build new businesses, promote participation in the global economy, and make the whole entire payments ecosystem and economic ecosystem more safer, more convenient, and more faster. We're partnering with financial institutions, we're partnering with merchants, we're partnering with telecommunications companies, we're partnering with governments and NGOs, and we have a scale, technology, and capacity to address all these challenges. We understand the challenges that governments are facing today, part of which, and many of them, are really purely relating to use of cash. We know that cash favors shadow economy, that leads to lower tax revenues, that promotes, unfortunately, corruption, and this situation don't encourage citizens to be financially included. In my short speech, I want to outline key three things. I want to highlight the strong need of public and private partnerships. I want to highlight the strong need of promoting financial inclusion, and last point, I want to highlight fighting against shadow economy. So, ladies and gentlemen, how important are public and private partnerships to facilitate, for instance, delivery of social benefits to consumer? When governments disperse payments by checks, I'm repeating this again, so much popular in Serbia, or cash, there are several points in the process during which errors or fraud may occur. Another issue is the cost of cash in the transfer of benefits from governments to their citizens. We at Mastercard estimate that on an annual basis, 1.5% of GDP is being just lost because these transfers are being done by cash. It's being lost because of cost of security, it's being lost of the lack of the transparency, it's being lost because of many other factors creating this cost. Let me give you 2-3 examples how successful public-private partnerships we made so far in cooperation with governments. A very close example, Greece, last year. We partnered with governments, and by the way, can you imagine that the financial crisis, and the whole situations that happened in Greece last year help reducing cash like never before in this country. We partnered with the Greek government to launch the first prepaid so-called solidarity card in the country as a part of the Labor and Social Solidarity Ministry's 9-month plan to tackle the human impact of the crisis by distributing social benefits to families. Russia, and other examples. There are millions of social cards used by the recipients for social benefits disbursement. It also became a platform for the number of government agencies for salary projects. I want to bring the example that are, on the other hand, outside of the region, on one hand, very, very relevant and applicable for Serbian market. Another important element how to tackle problem of social disbursement, I want to give this example as well because it's so common. Lebanon, we partner with United Nations and World Food Program to roll out an innovative electronic voucher program that will allow hundreds of thousands of Syrian refugees to meet their food needs and help boost the local economy. Let me come to my second point. How can we support financial inclusion? Financial inclusion is an issue which doesn't touch only less developed markets or emerging markets. It is also touching richest European markets that are citizens without any access to payment account. There was a study, so-called European Financial Inclusion Study, that showed that more than 200 million of people in Europe over 15 years don't have the access to the most simple financial bank account. This study, particularly for Serbia, showed even worse number. More than 38 people older than 15 years never had and don't have the access to the most simple bank account. This is incredible high number, ladies and gentlemen, in Serbia. Incredible high number. I want to highlight that cash is certainly not helping the financially excluded people. Imagine that having the social benefits distributed to elder person that just got cash and has been stolen while going back home. I would like to give another examples in this particular area, what kind of financial inclusion related projects we've done in other geographies, but that were very successful and made impact on the country economy. South Africa. We're partnering with South African Social Security Agency to deliver government funds on 10 million debit cards with biometrics. 5 million of the 16 million South Africans getting government benefits had the access to formal financial tool for the first time. Nigeria. Government launched National ID pilot program that combines biometric identification with a prepaid payment capability that is enabled by our technology and serving 13 million of Nigerian adults. That represents the broadest financial inclusion initiative of its kind in the African continent. And last but not least, Egypt. We launched the mobile payment wallet with cooperation with National Bank of Egypt. We work with the government to roll out a digital ID program that links citizens' national ID to the country's existing mobile money platform. And coming to my last point, how to fight against shadow economy. We see that both theory and practice have shown that a very important and common factor for shadow economy is heavy presence and usage of cash. And it is a cash payment that allows seller not to report the transactions, for instance, paying in restaurant. I want to use this opportunity to announce that we, as MasterCard, commissioned a study done independently but EY consulting company, how to reduce shadow economy through electronic payments in Serbia and in other 8 Central Eastern European countries. I'm extremely excited to present this to you, the report that will be to your disposal. And we developed the special methodology. The study is showing the deep analysis of how shadow economy looks like in Serbia with the sectoral breakdown, and also the report concludes with a set of solutions that can be done to reduce shadow economy in the country. So, from what I said so far, what are the conclusions? First of all, to make a progress, we think that we all have to focus on public and private partnerships and engage together, trusting each other. We need regulatory bodies, governmental institutions, policymakers to help to set the right regulatory framework to make this progression and to switch government benefits to electronic payments to bring the citizens of Serbia into the financial fold. In today's 24/7 culture, people have less time to spend than ever, so all operations, transactions from our domain has to be as much efficient as possible. What is important, those transactions need to be the part of the coherent system which facilitates the transparency of financial flow at any given moment. Society, the financial industry, and the institutions need to have the right infrastructure to properly address and combat the greatest challenge, the one that I mentioned, shadow economy. As we look ahead, mobile technologies offer great opportunities. They provide merchants as fast, easy, and expensive point-of-sale device anywhere. Without financial inclusion, we can't fulfill promise of the global economy. It matters because financial inclusion is the foundation of economic growth that's more inclusive and sustainable. Let me give you the last example of another country, which is Sweden. Sweden is the market which is very close to abolishing cash, with a prevalent majority of locations which only accept electronic payments. And United Kingdom is the country following this suite. It is the developments like this that underline the fact that globally a cashless society is being built. and choosing the right path towards a cashless global economy, we can eliminate these injustices and stimulate economic growth while making all these operations simple, faster, and more convenient. We can build a world where more people have the opportunity to enjoy what we here in this room take for granted, but it takes all of us really working together. And I want to tell at the end that I'm confident that the conclusions of our discussions will be really translated into practical activities leading to the future development and the successful development of Serbian market. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hvala lepo. Ovim je u minutu do 12 naš prepodnevni plenarni rad završen. Najavio bih sledeći panel, makrofiskalna i strukturna reformska agenda, koji počinje za 30 minuta u forum sali koja je jedan sprat iznad nas. Hvala vam lepo.